Welcome to the Sword of Truth podcast, the alcohol-fueled chapter-by-chapter reread of the Sword of Truth series with a glass globe of crapper on the side. I'm Jade.
And I'm Nate, and on this episode we are descending into chapter 36 of Blood of the Fold.
Yes, we are, but first, I think we should talk about some of the comments we got on the last episode over on our Facebook.
Yeah.
So, in the last episode, we had brought up the fact that we're kind of murky on the Book of Counted Shadows and whether or not it was written in Haida Harin or not. And I know that Aylmeyers gave us a response to that.
Yeah. He clarified that they didn't actually say what language that book was written in. We actually had more of a conversation today between me and him and Carolyn. I think it was, and I think I have to double check to be sure, but I think we figured out that it was most likely written in whatever the standard language is. I know we talked about that before, like standard or basic, something like that.
Yeah.
But that Richard was the only person who could like read it and then retain the information. It's not like written in another language because I feel like, and I feel like they feel like, that would have come up.
Yeah, like the magic would have wiped it from anybody else's brain type deal.
Right.
Also, he mentioned the fact that Kaylin didn't live at the keep, and I think we knew that she didn't live there. We just maybe were speaking out of turn.
That was my mistake. No, absolutely, he was right. He's like, no, she didn't live there. She like went to school there. She was there, and in later books, Kaylin speaks a lot about growing up at the keep. I assumed that meant lived there, but no. She lived at the palace, but she spent a lot of her childhood there.
Yeah, she hung out over there, yeah.
Yeah, and I think in context of what we were talking about through the episode, it was like, well, she was there while she was little. You know, she was there as a child.
Yes.
So how bad could it be? But obviously we know some things about the keep that, yeah, could be pretty fucking bad, actually.
Well, I'm sure that when she was a child, there were people to keep the child out of the bad places in the keep.
Yeah.
So.
Now there's nobody there to tell her not to put her finger in the fire.
Well, or
so
to tell Richard, who has no idea
not
even
to do
what the
anything.
fire is. Yeah.
But yeah, I like going onto the Facebook page after we drop an episode. I've been trying to leave more comments and like start more of a conversation there with people. It's a lot of fun, especially when people have different opinions or like not even opinions. In the case of Al this week, it's like, no, he has facts. We had opinions.
Yeah,
he had facts.
Happens, yeah.
But I like that, and I will continue to do that. So if you guys have something that you wanted to add, other than the whole spiel we give you at the end of each episode, hop on our Facebook page, man. Let us know what's up, and we would love to talk to you there.
Well, and it really helps us, I think, because sometimes we're going through this so quickly. I know that maybe it doesn't seem like we're going through it quickly to you guys, because it's only a couple episodes a week, but that takes a lot longer on our end to do it. So we can't always break it down or remember all the little things, so it helps sometimes to have people be like, no, hey, remember? We talked about this, guys. And we'll be like, fuck, yes, we did.
Oh, yeah!
Okay, cool. Now that's a point that we will not forget now.
Then it'll stick, yeah. Gotta put it up on the board. All right. Well, I think with all that said, it's time to get into this chapter.
Mm-hmm.
We have many, many notes. Many, many notes. And I think that's funny because in the chapter itself, like, they talk about a couple things. They go into one topic pretty deep, but they're just kind of checking stuff out.
Yeah, it's really not that heavy or long of a chapter. It's literally like 13 pages on Kindle.
Yeah.
So I was actually really shocked because the notes I took for this chapter originally were literally more than double what our normal notes are. And I was like,
right.
How the fuck did I get to there? And then I tried to like thin it out and I still only got like a couple. Like, I only took a couple extra out, so strap in.
Well, I don't mind.
I don't
got my drink right here. I got, everything I need. We're all set.
Everything they said was just very important. That's all.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it can be a short chapter and have a lot to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. As we've heard many times from people who do listen to this podcast, they're like, we'll listen. You want to talk for 4 hours about one paragraph? Go for it. We're here. Which has been tempting a few times, but we're like, I'm not going to edit that. That's something, if it's that long, we're just doing it and throwing it up. Or uploading. Maybe I should say that. Anyways. Yeah, the second it came out, I was like, that's weird. But all right. Richard and Berdine are making their way through the keep. Richard doesn't know where they're going, but he thinks they should find some stairs and start from the bottom of the keep and work their way up. Seeker logic. This makes perfect sense. We talked about this in the library before. If you just go through the library, searching random books, the chances of you finding something you want to find is almost zero. But if you start from one end, check every book, every shelf, and work your way to the other end, you've got a much higher chance of finding the thing you're looking for.
I don't disagree, but I just in thinking in terms of the way I would explore a new place, the starting at the basement just seems like super backwards to me.
Let's just go to the scariest part right off the bat.
Yeah, why the fuck? Okay, I get wanting to eliminate rooms one by one and work your way through something, but starting at the basement is like the worst fucking thing. Why would we do that? Especially if a creepy ass fucking wizard's keep. No.
Yeah, you don't know what's in there. My whole thing was you're on a mountain. You're in a mountain. So who knows how far down? I doubt very much there's a basement. There's probably levels and levels and levels of shit down there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay. I guess I have some foreknowledge, but
yeah.
No, just start looking, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I would go about it either. It just when this came up, I was like, yeah, this seems very overwhelming. Just the idea of going through all of this seems like a lot.
Oh, and it would be. As they descend, light seems to slowly turn up. By the time they get down to the bottom stair, right, of the staircase that they just found, not the bottom of the keep, they can see clearly. There are these glass globes in an iron bracket. That's the source of the light. So as they walk closer to these globes, Jade and I suspect that Goodkind just didn't want to use the word orb for some reason, because it seems perfect. But maybe there's a reason for that? I don't know.
They're orbs.
That's what we both were like, I just want to call it an orb, but it's not an orb. But as they get closer to these things, they light up. When you grab it, it turns yellow, so you can, I guess, see better by it.
When Richard touched it.
Richard touched it. Right, exactly. But they light up as you get close, and then as you pass them, if you don't grab it, then it dims back down. It's just like the frozen food section at a fucking grocery store.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought about.
Which I can verify, because I'm sure everybody's asking the question, but I used to be on a construction crew, and we built Walmarts. And so sometimes I would have to go into a Walmart at 5 o'clock in the morning when it's pitch black inside of this halfway finished building, and the only thing that was in and working already on the floor we had just finished were those freezers. So there is nothing in there, and you get within, you got to be kind of close, 10 feet or so, and then they start to light up, and you're like, what's that?
Creepy.
Richard opens a pair of doors and finds a library. It's cozy. It's inviting. It's like our podcast nook down here, complete with beer. Okay, there's no beer. But there are windows looking out over Aidendrill. That's funny, because we're in the basement.
Yeah, we went down, so apparently we're still up pretty high.
Way up high! Instead of staying and, checking out the books, though, they just keep going. Richard goes, nah, this isn't the one. We're plowing through.
Yeah, apparently the books in these rooms are not what he came for, which seems a little bit counterproductive. Like what you were saying earlier, we go through every book, and he says it would take him a long-ass time to go through all the books, so I get it, but...
It would take him a year to read all the titles.
Yeah, so I get why we aren't going through any of them, but it seems like you found books. You're not even gonna, open a couple?
Look for a labeling system.
Yeah.
Is this library specifically for something? He's like, no, basically I'm the seeker. Shit just kind of works out for me. So when I walk into this library, I expect the book I'm looking for to fly into the air and glow bright yellow.
Yes.
Like the orb. Globe.
Yeah.
Globe. They realize that the corridor is running along the front of the keep, and there are at least 24 libraries off of it. Now, as scary as you just said that this would be, I would never see you again.
Yeah,
You'd be like,
no, it'd be pretty
this
great.
is my happy place.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. As long as there's a kitchen nearby. He didn't say anything about kitchens.
Well, that's where I would be.
Yeah, I need food to be readily accessible to the reading nook.
Richard had never imagined so many books existed. Even after seeing the vaults at the Palace of the Prophets, he suddenly feels overwhelmed. And personally, I can't blame him. Even exploring the keep without considering checking out the books seems like a lot.
Yeah, like I was just saying, this is all really overwhelming. So I don't know, like it seems like he's just wandering randomly.
Yeah, and he knows that there's stuff in there, and he knows that it's an important thing to Zed, but he doesn't really understand everything in there. Or not, that's not exactly what I meant to say. He doesn't understand the scope of everything that is in there.
He's like a person wandering the internet, kind of.
Yeah, and
there's lots of information there, but if you aren't knowledgeable about those topics, it doesn't do you any fucking good.
This is basically, the Wizard's Keep is Reddit.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Berdine assumes that this is what he came for, but it's not. It's too ordinary, and apparently Richard wants something weird. I'm sure he's just trying to find something that, like, speaks to his gift, and the books here just ain't it.
Yeah, so I think that's what's going on. Like, he's trying to wait for his gift to, like, start humming up a storm or some shit.
Yeah, kick in.
Yeah, he's like, don't feel nothing, keep moving.
I didn't get any spidey sense here. This ain't the place. The two of them come upon another stairwell and then go even further down into the keep. At the bottom, there's a golden doorway and a fourth shield they have come across. So, at this point, it kind of feels like video game levels. You know, you go so far in, you got to beat a minor boss and a minor boss. By the time they get to the bottom, guarantee you something scary down there. Right?
The good thing is, though, that you can't get back out of the level at this point, right? Because you've come too far in. But your checkpoint has updated.
It's
so
saved.
even if you die, you're good.
You save all your progress.
Yeah, you're just going to pop right back here.
You ate an apple. Restart?
We just upset the cat with our laughter.
Yeah. But this shield is different. As he puts his hand through, the door frame glows red, and it felt hot where the light touched it. And again, they're doing the hold hands thing with Berdine. He's like, hey, let me know if this is too much and you can't make it through.
Yeah, he actually asks her this time.
Yeah, beforehand.
Yeah,
that's key. I think maybe he learned something in the last one. Like, I don't want to just pull her through the shield and turn around to see her entire body degloved. You know what I mean? So we'll ask first.
It was kind of weird, though, because he, like, wrapped his arms around her. So, like, they went through with him, like, wrapped around her to try and protect her. It was, I don't know. It was weird, because they mentioned that, but then they didn't mention if that worked or not. They just, like,
or
let
if
that
it changed
go.
anything.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because this one is a little darker, a little scarier, a little deeper in the keep. So instead of just a handhold, he's like, I'm basically going to hug you on the way through.
Yeah.
Just because it's more intense that way, you know?
And again, maybe you'll die if I don't.
The two of them push through it, though, and it's okay, despite the discomfort. Everything is fine. Nobody dies, nobody burns to death.
Cool.
Which is, it was a worry. So that's good. Inside the room, there are niches along the wall holding different objects. Richard didn't know what they were, but they made his hair stand up on end, and he knows that they need to stay away from them. This is instinctual. This is nothing he's learned or been taught. He's just like, don't like that.
That's
just like
bad
the library
news.
Upstairs. Bad vibe. Let's move on.
Yeah. Stay in the middle of the room. Don't touch anything. I swear to God, we're not buying anything. You don't touch anything. Keep your hands in the cart.
If you break it, you're going to have to stay here and wash dishes in the kitchen that we haven't found yet. And that's going to suck for you. I will have the steak.